What's good, everyone? It's your boy Snarky Mark, and today we're going to be making brisket on the stove and in the oven. So without further ado, let's get straight to it. As you can see, I've already marinated my meat. I use onion powder, garlic powder, salt, black pepper, and soy sauce. And I think though that combination is going to really bring out a good flavor out of this brisket. So notice I got a thin cut of brisket because let's be realistic. A lot of people online, they use these huge briskets, and that's fun and that's great. But when you're just in the house cooking for a family, you're not gonna, not everyone, realistically, everyone does not have all that time to cook that brisket for that long. So I got a thin cut, got it from Super One. As you can see, the marbling on it is beautiful. I put a thin coat of oil on it as well because I'm not going to put oil in my pan because the marbling from the brisket is going to create its own oil. So you don't need to add that much oil. All I did was put a thin coat of oil on top of the brisket so it can make direct contact with the pan to get a good searing. So we're going to get started. Now look, once again, like I said, I marinated it. A lot of people, when you go check other channels, they're going to say, you want to let this marinate for 24 to 48 hours. Now listen, yes, it may bring out a better flavor if you marinate it for that long. But I'm making videos for people that have families, people that need to whip up a quick meal for whoever's in the house. And realistically, we don't know what we're going to be making in 48 hours. So I'm going to show you how to do it quick, how to do it fast, how to do it efficient. And whenever you have time in the future, yes, go ahead and marinate it for that long. But honestly, y'all, this has just been marinating for about 30 minutes now. So, and that's more than enough time for it to be flavorful enough to satisfy you and your loved ones. So I'm making videos for families that are trying to make meals in a pinch. We don't have all that time to marinate it for that long because most of the time we figure out what we're going to cook when we actually start cooking, right? A lot of people don't prep way days in ahead and know what they want to eat that day. I bought brisket yesterday and I figured, hey, I want to make it today. I marinated it today, 30 minutes ago. So, once again, if you don't have all that extra time, do not worry about that. Everyone says you got to do it for this long. No, do it for as long as you can. So, let's get started. So, that's my pan right here. It's ready. You want to get that pan real hot because, once again, we're not doing this on a grill or anything. We're doing this on the stove. So, you want to get that pan real hot. So, I've been letting that pan get hot for about 10 minutes now. And once again, we have our brisket here with a thin coat of oil on top just so it can make direct contact with that hot pan. And we're just going to put it right on there. Same with this one. And it's making direct contact with that hot pan. And once again, y'all, don't talk to me about wearing gloves. I'm just cooking for my family. So, yes, if I was cooking for more people, I most definitely would use something else, but it's just me and the fam. So, don't come at me about wearing gloves. Now that it is finished searing, this is how it looks. So I seared each side for about a minute. Like I said, that pan was really hot, and we put oil on top on both sides of the brisket, so it was able to get direct contact. That heat, it worked very quickly. You don't want to leave it on for too long because you don't want to burn it. This isn't like smoking it on a pit or anything like that. If you leave it on the stove for too long, that blackness isn't a good char. It's burnt. So this is how it came out. And now we're going to move them to aluminum foil. And then we're going to wrap them up and throw it in the oven. Right now I got the oven at 400. We're going to wrap these up, throw them in the oven, and then we're going to come back later on and see how they come out. Now, while we're waiting on that brisket, we're going to go ahead and grill up some asparagus. So you want to wash your asparagus first, spread it out evenly into the pan, and then what we're going to use is onion powder and garlic powder. I don't really want to use salt on my asparagus. Yes, it might make it more flavorful, but we're trying to watch our sodium. All right, everyone, we're at the finish line. Let's pull over and see how they look. As you can see, it looks amazing on the outside, but we all know appearances can be deceiving. We're going to see how it looks once we cut into it. So once we cut into it, you can see that it came out beautifully. And look, still really juicy. It's not dry whatsoever. So I think this was a success. Once again, had the oven on 400. Let it cook for about 20 minutes in the oven after searing it. Now, if you're someone like me and you like medium rare when it comes to your beef, then I would say don't do it for 20 minutes. Maybe do it for about 10 minutes. But I'm the only one in the house that likes medium rare, so I let it cook a little longer so it could get to medium well, medium-ish. But either way, still really juicy. Still looks amazing. So, final thing is to taste it. Really good. Now look, if you want it to be a little more tender, because it is brisket, keep that in mind. If you want it to be a little more tender, you want it to sort of melt, then I would say put it in the oven at 300 and let it cook in there for a couple of hours. But if you're just trying to whip up a quick meal, this really gets the job done, seriously. So, let's see, let's plate it up and let's look at the final product. And there you have it, everyone. That is beautifully cooked brisket with asparagus. And I think this was a success. This is my first time trying to do brisket this way. I think when you're in a pinch, this is a great meal. This is something quick to do. Mind it took me longer to make this meal just because I was recording a video. But in all honesty, if you get started right away, like if you start cooking right after you marinate it, which you can do, that's how I usually do it. This meal would probably take you roughly 30 to 40 minutes, honestly. It's a quick little meal. Brisket still came out beautifully, so it's something that you can really whip up when you're in a pinch for the family. So give it a try. Now, just a quick disclaimer. Like I said, we're trying to watch our sodium intake. I know yesterday I made a fried chicken video, and you're not going to be seeing videos like that on this channel for a very long time because we're trying to cut back on stuff like that. I only made it because a few people asked for me to make fried chicken, so I happily obliged, but you're not going to see videos like that for a while. And on the brisket, only used a pinch of salt just to give it that flavor. I didn't overdo it at all. Just a small pinch on each side. We didn't put any salt on the asparagus, just onion powder and garlic powder. So with meals like this, you can eat good, but still not feel guilty about it afterwards. Not feeling all bloated or not feeling like you just ate something terrible. This is a quick meal, a meal that can easily be burned off. Like my wife and I, we've been going to the gym faithfully, so this is something that can give us fuel for the gym, and then we can easily burn it off. So once again, trying to watch the salt intake, and also whenever I put oil on top of the steak, I used olive oil. Please be very mindful of that. If you don't want to use olive oil, please don't, because it has a very high smoke point, and you can easily burn whatever you're making if you let that olive oil get too hot. So yes, I used a hot pan, but off camera, I was continuously flipping the steak over and over, like every 10 seconds. So just be mindful if you use olive oil. Please be careful. You don't want to burn your steak. You don't want to have charred. I mean, usually you want like a nice charred bark, but not that way. That high smoke point, it'll kill your steak. But thank y'all for checking out the video. I'm Snarky Mark, and peace out.